student developer here, and today we're going to be learning how to find our XYZ coordinates and their offsets. So let's make it happen. I'm going to a private match. Like I said in my previous videos, make sure your anti-cheat is disabled. If you don't know how to disable your anti-cheat, or if you don't know if your game has anti-cheat, don't apply cheats to the game. Good game to use would be either Call of Duty Black Ops, which is what I'm using now, or you can use Assault Cube. So let's find our XYZ coordinates. We're gonna use Finalizing. We'll start it up. So while that loads, let's attach our game to cheat engine. Yeah. So first of all, when we find our XYZ coordinates, it's best to find your y-axis first, and then search the region around that address and find your other value as well. So that's what we're going to do. So first what you're going to do are your position in almost every game is always going to be stored as a float. It's always going to be stored as a float. Not any of these, only a float. And when we start trying to find our value, we're just going to put it to unknown initial value. And then we're going to do our first scan. Now, it's best to find a ladder or some steep stairs, or you can climb on top of something. And when you do that, you want to increase and decrease your value. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go up the ladder. We're going to increase. We're going to go down and decrease. And we're just going to rinse and repeat until we narrow our addresses down low enough to where we can go in a little deeper and find our Y value. Then just move around, and unchanged value, and none of these are it. So what we're going to do is undo our scan, and we're going to keep searching. We're going to go up, increase, down, decrease, up, down, up, 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 and down. So we have 10 results, and like I stated in my previous video, I already know that one of these values here is our Y. I already know that one of these is our Y, because they're green. They're indicating green, and in Call of Duty, a lot of the times your variable that you're looking for is going to be stored as a green. These values here are dynamic and they're black, so that means when you restart your game, you're going to have to refine your value. So we don't want to use that, so we can just go ahead and get rid of that. Now, like I said in all my other videos, if you don't have any green values, you're going to have to do a pointer scan for that address, or just a pointer scan. So we're going to remove these and remove these. Now, these addresses may not be correct. There's a good chance that that could be the case, and if so, we'll just redo our scan. Let's start over. I'm not perfect, so you know, everyone makes mistakes. It's not this one. Hold on. Okay, it's not that one. So what I'm doing is freezing the value. So whenever I try to jump, it won't let me jump. So that'll let me know that I have my Y chord. Now in some games, it won't let you freeze, like freeze and try to jump. It won't work. You won't know that you have the value. So this may not apply to every game, but some games it'll work. Just figured I'd let you guys know that. So none of these are the value actually. So we can get rid of these here and restart. We can just restart. Nothing wrong with restarting. And let's do this again. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, I'm using hotkeys. So if you're wondering, oh, how is he changing those values? You know, I'm using hotkeys. Now, I'll show you what you can do if you don't have an external mouse with buttons on the side. Then I can show you how to find your value manually. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to increase, do a new scan first. We're going to go up and do increased value. Like that. Then we're going to go down and decrease our value. Decrease value. Like that. And we're going to do next scan. And that's how you do it manually. So up, go down until we narrow our addresses. This may take a little while. Okay, now we have more results. Before we had 10, now we have 212. So I'm comfortable with staying at that number. I don't think we're going to get it down any lower. So now what we want to do is grab the addresses in the green and start freezing them one by one until we can't jump. And these black values here are dynamic, so we don't even need those for this particular game. So we can go ahead and get rid of all those. Thought I had one at the top. Yep. Get rid of that. So let's get to it. What we're gonna do is start freezing some of these values, and we're gonna jump because your Y is up and down. So you shouldn't be able to jump when we freeze these values. When we can't jump, that's how we know we got the right value. So what I'm gonna do to speed up the process is select all the values, and just to see if the list that I selected even has the coordinate that we're looking for. In this case, we don't, so we're going to get rid of these. And we're going to go down a list. Just going to keep going down. So we're going to, like that. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. It's none of those. Okay, so you see now I'm trying to jump and it's kind of like stuttering. Like I'm stuck on the ground. I can't go up. So that's letting us know that we have our Y coordinate. So now we're just going to go up one by one until we find the value that we're looking for. So I don't think it's any of these up here. No, yes it is. Okay. Not none of those. That one. So this is our Y. This is our Y. Let's see. So we're gonna name this Y-axis slash chord. And that's what we're looking for. So we can go ahead and get rid of the rest of these addresses here. Okay, thought I accidentally deleted my address. Now what we're going to do is browse the memory region and see and find our other values that we're looking for. So that's what we're going to do. You can either Control B, or you can go there manually by right-clicking and browsing your memory region. As I stated in multiple videos here, this is stored in hex. This right here is displaying hexadecimal, and we don't want to see our value. We're not looking for a hex value. We're looking for a float. So we're going to change the display type to float. See that? Everything's in float. So we're going to actually move this over because your view matrix is an array of 16 bytes. So that'll help us out a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to close this and open it back up again. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is our Y. Let me move this over so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, these two values here match. So I'm going to scroll up and see what happens when we move left and right and diagonal. See if we can see some values that change. And as we can see, there are some values that's changing. And one of those values is our X and one of them is our Z. So we're going to select the ones that change while we're moving, and we're going to freeze them and find out what they are. That's weird, I'm not. Okay. These values here that you see here that's changing, that is not that's in no relation to our X, Y, and Z. So we only know our X, Y, and Z is when we're moving, when we're going up and down, left or right, and diagonal. So I figured I'd go ahead and throw that in there. So let's grab some of these values here. Okay, so it's the bottom three that I'm looking at. This one, that one, and that one. So we're going to go ahead and grab these addresses here and add them to our address list. Like so. Now let's start freezing some values to find what we're going to look for. Now is our X chord. So that shouldn't let us go forward or back or left or right. So let's go ahead and try this. So this looks like this is our Z. I could be wrong, but I think this is our Z because I'm trying to go diagonal. It's not letting me go diagonal. Let's see. Or this could be our X. Or back. Okay, let's see. Let's check the other ones. All right. Let's try to go diagonal. Okay, so I think this is our Z. So we're going to name this Z chord. We're going to rename this y coordinate. So now that leaves us with this here, which would be our x-axis. Let's see. It's not letting us go. So I'm gonna just take a guess and say that that is our x. That's our x. So let's name this x coordinate. Okay. So we have our x, y, and our z. Now what we need is the offsets to that address. So whenever you plug those addresses in, whenever you plug those offsets into a function, into an EXP, and make it easier for you. You already have what you need. So let's do that. Go ahead and delete this. And we're going to do a pointer scan. We're going to do a pointer scan. We're going to change the number of threads to 1. We're going to change the max level to 1. So this can decrease our search time. You want your maximum offset value to be 4095. Go ahead and start this search, this pointer scan. And now we just wait. Sorry if this is taking a long time, but you know, pointers, you know, it's just a waiting game at this point. So okay. So we got 69 pointer paths here. And so as I showed in how to find our entity list, we're going to choose one of each type of the offset. Now, you might not have to go through every single one, but depending on your luck, so we're just going to choose 4. So 2C, 34, 38, and 78. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And yeah, so what you want to do now is go ahead and double click your address, copy this one, copy this address here, and add it manually. So Control V and add that. Now the offset that we're looking for is 2C. That is the offset that we're looking for. So we're going to dissect the data structure. So I'm going to go to Browse Memory Region and dissect data structure. And to find a new one, make sure your size is 4096 and go ahead and open that up. Now, we're going to go inside the pointers and see if we can find our X, Y, or Z coordinates inside of them. So that's what we're going to do. We're looking for 2C. So let's see here, 2C. So it looked like we have found it on our first try. Now let's see if we have a match. Go ahead and close this out. So this looks like this is our Y coordinate here, because this is the same as here. So let's open up our notepad, or our notepad here. Go ahead and add some important information. Okay. So what is this? Okay, Y. So for our Y coordinate, our offset for our Y is 0, 0, 2, 2C. 0, 0, 2C. And our address for the Y coordinate is this one up here. So we want to copy this, close that, and go ahead and paste that here. So this is our offset for our Y and our address for our Y. So we're going to do the same for our X next. So let's find our X value now. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and minimize this for now. Let's see. Let's move around. Let's see. We're going to go back to, I don't think these two addresses here are correct, but I'm just going to double check here. Just give me a quick second. I'm checking something real quick. Sorry about that. I want to make sure I'm giving y'all correct information before I just, put these values down. So I think this value here could be our X. So let's go ahead and redefine our X value, our X address. Go ahead and get rid of those two. Delete that. And we're going to add this address. I'm going to add this address here. That. Now, go down. Let's freeze these values and see what we got here. Okay. So this is the correct X. So we're going to name this X coordinate. The ones we had previously was incorrect, but this is the correct X. And then let's go back. Let's try this one here. And this should be our Z. Now, a lot of times your X, Y, and Z coordinates are four if you get the address, the hex address, and you subtract it by 4, sometimes that's how you can determine your X, Y, and your Z. But that does not work for every single game. It all depends on how the game developer stores their values. So, yeah. So let's see what happens when we freeze this one. Let's try to move diagonal. Okay, so this is our Z coordinate. So we're gonna rename this Z coordinate. Here. So now we have a match. We have 207 here. We have 55, negative 55.87 here. Now this is our Z. But the pointer is pointing and we don't want it to point. That's incorrect. So we're going to change the element to a float. And if yours has hexadecimal selected, go ahead and unselect that. Now you see that the values here are matching like the previous ones. 1270, 1270. So let's go ahead and add this to our notes. So let's add for our X chord. Our offset for it is, let's see here, 207. So our offset is 0024. That's our offset. And our address is here. This is our address. So go ahead and copy that, and paste it in here. That's your address. So yeah, we have our Y and our X. Now let's get our Z. So go ahead and open this back up. For Z chord, our offset for it is 0028. And I'm looking, if you're wondering where I'm getting the offset numbers from, they're on the side here. This is your offset. These are your offsets. In case you was wondering where I was getting these numbers here from, that's where I got it from. So our address for this one is this one. It's here. Go ahead and copy that and paste it. Okay, something we did wrong. Yeah, I copied the wrong address. Let's find our Z again. This is our Z. Sorry about that. Go ahead and copy this address and put it here. There we go. So we have our X. I'm going ahead and put this here in case some people get confused. I'm not too sure if Z counts as, you know, it being axis, but oh well. I'm gonna put it there anyway. Okay. Now we have our X, Y, and Z. So what you would use your X, Y, Z for is for your player coordinate, your position, your player's position. So whenever you create an ESP or an aimbot, you can find other players if you have their entity list. If you have their entity. So whenever you enter these offsets in C++, you want to times it by 0. And this goes the same for your address as well. You want to go ahead and times that by 0. So we're going to 0x and paste that. That's how you would enter it into C++. That's how you do it. So go ahead and get this here, copy that offset here, put it here, and times that by 0. I'm not going to do it for all of them. I just wanted to show you what you would do when you enter this into if let's say you're using a source code, someone else's source code, we'll enter it in like that. So that concludes this video. I'm not sure if I left anything out. If I did, you know, just let me know. Or if you know you didn't find what you was looking for, there's other videos out there you can go watch. So yeah, this is Student Developer, and I'm out.